1956. Warner Brothers Studio, Jack Warner's office. Paul Newman stands at the door, 31 years old, fist clenched, jaw tight. Behind the desk sits Jack Warner, 64 years old, one of the most powerful men in Hollywood, eyes cold. "Sit down, Paul." Newman doesn't sit. "I'm not doing that film." Warner smiles, but his eyes don't smile. "You have a contract." "My contract is a slavery contract." Warner rises from the desk, slowly, threateningly. "Be careful, kid. I've seen a lot of stars in this studio before you. They all said the same thing, and they all ended the same way." Newman doesn't back down. "How did they end?" Warner approaches, his face close to Newman's. "They were forgotten. Hollywood forgot them. And I did nothing to stop it." Silence. Newman's heart beats fast, but his voice is calm. "Then make them forget me too, Mr. Warner, because I'm not shooting that garbage." And he turns and walks out. The door closes behind him. Jack Warner returns to his desk, picks up the phone. "Suspend Newman, cut his salary, make sure he can't work anywhere." This is the beginning of Paul Newman's war against Hollywood slavery. It will last 7 years, and Newman will either win or be destroyed. I need to tell it. To understand 1950s Hollywood, you need to understand the studio system. Today, actors are free. They choose what films they want, work with whatever studio they want, ask for whatever money they want. In the 1950s, it wasn't like that. Studios were kings. MGM, Warner Brothers, Paramount, 20th Century Fox. These 4 giants controlled Hollywood, and actors were property. This is how the contract system worked. If a studio discovered you, they'd make you sign a 7-year contract. This contract bound you to that studio. You could only appear in that studio's films. The studio chose what films you'd be in. You didn't like the role? Didn't matter, you'd do it. The studio set your salary. You wanted more? They'd laugh. You wanted to work with another studio? Impossible. The contract wouldn't allow it. And worst of all, if you said no to a role, the studio would suspend you. Suspension. During this time, no salary, no work, nothing. And the time spent suspended would be added to your contract. Your 7-year contract could become 8 years, 9 years, 10 years. This was slavery, legal slavery, Hollywood slavery, and Paul Newman was born into this system. 1954. Newman signs a 7-year contract with Warner Brothers. Why? Because he has no other choice. Newman comes from Broadway, talented but unknown. He wants to get into Hollywood, but the doors are closed. Warner Brothers offers an opportunity. "We'll make you a star." Newman signs. First film, The Silver Chalice. Disaster. Newman looks ridiculous in a Roman period costume. The script is terrible. The direction is terrible. Everything is terrible. Critics are merciless. Newman becomes Hollywood's most expensive mannequin. And Newman realizes something. The studio doesn't care about his career. The studio only cares about money. Newman is just a product to them. Merchandise to be sold. But the contract is signed. 7 years, no escape. Or so he thinks. 1955 to 1956. James Dean dies. An opportunity arises for Newman. Somebody up there likes me, is successful. Newman rises, and the studio notices. This kid can bring in money. But Newman also notices, I'm bringing in money, but the studio is taking it. He looks at his contract. Weekly salary, $1,000. His films are making millions. Newman gets $1,000 a week. Is this fair? Newman starts thinking and starts reading his contract, every line, every word. He takes it to a lawyer friend. Is this contract legal? The lawyer examines it. Legal, but not ethical. This is a standard Hollywood contract. Everyone signs it. So everyone's a slave? Yes, until someone says no. Newman thinks, what if I say no? The lawyer shakes his head. Then you fight, and you either win or lose. No middle ground. 1956. Warner Brothers offers Newman a new film, The Helen Morgan Story. Newman reads the script. Terrible. Shallow character. Weak story. Horrible dialogue. Newman says, no. The studio is shocked. What do you mean, no? I'm not doing this film. You have a contract. I have a contract, but I also have dignity. Crisis begins. Jack Warner summons Newman to his office, and that conversation happens. Newman walks out the door. The next day, his salary is cut. He's suspended. Suspension. He can't appear in any film. No studio can hire him. He can't do any work. Newman goes home. His wife, Joanne Woodward, asks, "What happens now?" Newman looks out the window. We wait. How long? As long as it takes. The suspension period begins. Days pass, weeks, months. Newman's money in the bank is melting. Bills are piling up. Stress is rising. But Newman doesn't back down. Everyone in Hollywood is watching. Other actors are whispering, "Is Newman crazy? He's standing up to Warner? His career is over." But some think differently. Marlon Brando calls Newman. "I heard. You're doing the right thing." "Thanks, Marlon, but I don't know what to do." "All you can do is hold on. Warner will get tired. His patience will run out before your money does." "What if it doesn't?" Brando laughs. "Then at least you'll go down standing. That counts for something." Newman hangs up. Going down standing. Maybe that's the only option. 3 months pass. Newman is still suspended. But something changes. The press starts paying attention. Newman versus Warner, headlines appear. Journalists question the studio system. Are these contracts fair? Are actors slaves? Hollywood's dark side. Jack Warner is uncomfortable. They don't want bad press. Bad press loses money. And Warner realizes something else. While Newman is suspended, they're not making money. Newman's films have stopped. Millions of dollars hanging in the air. The math is simple. If Newman works, money comes in. If Newman doesn't work, money doesn't come in. And Newman isn't working. Warner starts thinking, maybe a middle ground can be found. At the end of the 4th month, the phone rings. Warner Brothers is calling. "Mr. Newman, Mr. Warner would like to meet with you." Newman smiles. "Should I come to his office?" "No, sir. Mr. Warner will come to you." Newman hangs up. Joanne looks at him. "What happened?" "Warner is coming to me." "To you?" "Yes." Joanne doesn't understand. What does that mean? Newman laughs. For the first time in months, he really laughs. "It means we won." The next day, Jack Warner comes to Newman's house. A small house, modest, far below Hollywood standards. Warner looks around. "Nice house." "Thanks, it would be nicer if you paid me enough salary." Warner sits. "Paul, I think we should end this war." "How?" "We'll give you better roles, script approval. You can't say no to everything, but you can say no to the worst ones." Newman thinks. "Salary?" Warner sighs. "There will be an increase, but not much. A contract is a contract." "Can I work with other studios before the contract ends?" "No, that's impossible." Newman shakes his head. "Then no deal." Warner is surprised. "What?" "I said no deal. I don't just want better roles, I want freedom. And you're not offering freedom." Warner stands up. "Paul, be reasonable. This is Hollywood. These are the rules." "Rules can change, Mr. Warner, and I'm going to be part of that change." Warner walks to the door. "You'll regret this." "Maybe, but at least I'll respect myself." Warner leaves. The door closes, and the war continues. But something changes. Newman doesn't sit idle while suspended. He returns to Broadway, does theater. He stages The Desperate Hours. Big success. Critics praise him. Newman is better on stage than in film. And Newman discovers something. Hollywood isn't the only path. There's theater, there's television, there are independent productions. Warner Brothers can block him, but they can't destroy him. Newman grows stronger, a little more each day, and Hollywood notices. This man is different. This man doesn't give up. This man fights. 1958. Newman's contract continues, but the dynamics have changed. Warner doesn't push anymore. He gives Newman good roles. Cat on a Hot Tin Roof, Oscar nomination. The Long Hot Summer, award at Cannes. Newman is rising. And with every rise, the studio system weakens a little more. Because Newman becomes an example, other actors start questioning too. Newman stood up and won. Why don't we? The studio system starts cracking. By the early 1960s, the system will collapse. Contracts will end. Actors will be free. And one of the pioneers of this revolution will be Paul Newman. 1962. Newman's Warner Brothers contract ends. 7 years plus suspension time, finally over. On the last day, Newman goes to the studio, goes up to Jack Warner's office. The secretary is surprised. "Mr. Newman, you don't have an appointment." "I know. I just wanted to say goodbye." Warner is inside, raises his eyebrows when he sees Newman. "Paul, today's your last day." "Yes, Mr. Warner, and I wanted to tell you something." Warner waits. Newman approaches. "Thank you." Warner is surprised. "What?" "Thank you. You tried to enslave me, and I learned freedom. You tried to break me, and I learned to stand. Without you, I wouldn't be this strong." Silence. Warner doesn't know what to say. Newman smiles. "Goodbye, Mr. Warner. I'll never come to this office again." He turns, walks out, gets in the elevator, leaves the studio, and never works for Warner Brothers again. Ever. Years pass. Newman becomes an independent producer, starts his own company, makes whatever films he wants, wins an Oscar in 1986, gets nominated for an Oscar as a director in 1994. And in every interview, they ask the same question. What were the Warner Brothers years like? Newman always gives the same answer. It was hell, but you can't find heaven without going through hell. 2007. Paul Newman is 82 years old. He's giving an interview for a documentary about Hollywood's golden age. What do you think about the studio system? Newman thinks for a long time. The studio system saw us as products, as merchandise, things to be sold, used, discarded. He pauses. But we remembered we were human, and humans rebel. Humans want freedom. Humans refuse to be slaves. You rebelled. Yes, and I paid the price, but freedom isn't free. Was it worth it? Newman smiles. Every penny. Jack Warner died in 1978. Paul Newman died in 2008. Both went down in Hollywood history, one as a slave owner, the other as one who fought against slavery. And today? Today, no actor signs a 7-year contract. Today, no studio can suspend an actor. Today, actors are free. Where did this freedom come from? From people like Paul Newman, from those who dared to say no, from those who accepted going down standing, from those who fought whether they won or lost. In 1956, a man stood in Jack Warner's office and said, "No." A simple word, but a word that changed worlds. No. Paul Newman said it, and Hollywood was never the same again.